Okay, this was so wonderful for me. So cool that some people asked about this little exercise that we're doing. That's a reasonably complex model. When am I going to make this part two and part two? I'm actually going to make part two and part three, and this is part two. And in part two, we'll put some circular reference with the classic copy and paste method. And a whole lot of you will be finished because you'll think, oh, I'm so cool. I can do the copy paste method and I can make a little macro and do a while loop. We'll also finish up this little scenario analysis and make this correction that I really sorry I missed in the earlier one. So that's going to be part two. Part three. Oh, I want to show you how easy it is. I swear it's not hard. How easy it is to use a UDF. And here's one of the big deals. It's not just getting rid of the little copy paste so you don't have to press a button. Okay, so what really about the button? Okay, here if we and I suppose you could do this with copy and paste too, but here at the very end they said, well, we want to do all of these scenarios, okay, and they it was very unclear to me. Maybe it was very clear to you. They would like to know what headline place you could pay if it were the whole asset at the end of the life payable to the government. And it was whether they want it or not. We could leave the debt in based on the base case, and then we could do our whole scenario analysis to see what happens to our IRR. We could uh, uh, we could change the debt every time we change our scenario. We could uh, uh, um, change the debt when we change our final little scenario for the 7% sale price, which we're going to put in this one. So those are interesting questions. And with this UDF, and if you do it right, and it's really not hard to do, I'm saying this again and again and again. I want it would be so cool if you have an open mind and look at this. And that's really the only reason I'm kind of really interested in this case. I can show you the status, and this has taken years to do, and I'm giving it for totally free. And if you want to be a really good modeler instead of an average bureaucrat, uh, uh, I urge you, I beg you, you want to look at part three with with a real innovative way to address the circular reference issue. Okay, so let's before we get started, let's just fix a few things. So we down here, we have to put in the debt, the OPEX plus or minus 10%, the debt cost plus or minus 25 bips, or not basis points, or 0.25%, decommissioning plus or minus 2 years, revenue payable scenario. Now so just a minute. I got to be a little more careful so I don't screw up again like I did last time. Revenue share payable to the government. So we let's correct this, and I called it revenue share payable to. Okay, and let's fix this. So this is going to be kind of a little tiny little bit different, basically boring. And then so let's take this base case. Let's just take these base case numbers, of course. Say, of course, I should never, ever say of course. And let's copy that to these ones. And all we do is we put the variable O&M, and oh, I better put this up and make a little alt WFF. And this is extra variable O&M, so this is kind of our downside on the variable O&M. And I'm just wondering if you would want to make a whole kind of downside case, okay? And if they complain, compound or some crap like that, okay, whatever. And then let's do the next two, which was let's put the downside. So let's put plus interest rate, and we'll put minus the interest rate. And they seem to not want to compound the effect. And they, you know, it would be really good to, if you did this, I'm not going to do this. Well, I almost could. If we wanted to make a tornado diagram, or what would we call the other one? A waterfall diagram with the UTF, that would be really, really easy. With the copy paste, it would be kind of a pain. Maybe I'll do that, but that's going to be too many, really too many videos on this one this one thing. Okay, now this toll rate, this was really bad. See, the toll rate, I totally messed up, so let's fix that. And somebody quite rightly and really well told me that, so how did I miss that? How did I screw up that? Is it just because I'm degrading with my brain and getting too old and having, I have a lot of jet lag too, and all right, I just looked at this 3 for some reason. I looked for the inflation rate or something, and the daily traffic on the toll. Where are the toll roads? 5 and 10. It's right there. It's really clear. Somehow I messed up. Okay, so this is 5, and that does change things absolutely dramatically. Okay, Control R. Whoops, I haven't even opened generic macros right now, and that's the thing I really. But I'm gonna get more emotional, even about. I'm gonna get more emotional about the circular reference than even the generic macros. Okay, promise you. Okay, and if I start crying too much, I hope I'm not going to swear too much or offend anybody. Or if I start complaining about these climate change skeptics or something, well, that's a different issue, isn't it? And then we can do. So let's keep the thing here, minus life. Whoops. What? Okay. Minus. Okay. Whoops. Minus life. My eyes are really bad today too. And then plus life. And you think, oh, he's such an old man. He can't do anything anymore. He's not so cool like us who can do a copy and paste macro. We'll do something much better than that. Okay? And show it. We can make it even faster too. Not only better, we can do it faster. Okay? And this one, okay, we're taking 2 away from the life, I think. Photos add-on. What's going on here? Why does it give me that message all the time? 23, 27. So we can prove that we did our timelines very well. All right. And then we have that revenue share payable. And it's kind of like, well, that one I look at as completely different than all the rest. that could apply to all the cases almost. But we'll take our base, we'll just put revenue share pay. And okay, so what? Okay, why don't we just make them a little wider? Stop getting worried about stupid little formatting things, okay? All right, so we have all of our cases, and I hope that this last case we can do. I was going to make a conditional formatting for you and put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up here, but screw it, because that would just be like wasting time if this was a real test, and it's going to take us 4 hours, frankly. It's not that easy, or maybe at least 3 by the time we're finished. So on this revenue payable, we better put true here. And I'm going to leave this revenue payable because that's another mistake I kind of made. And up here, I should have been a lot more. I said revenues with the lower rate, whatever. Let's use their revenue share payable. So let's put revenue at lower share rate. Okay, and here's what they did. They gave us 5,000 cars. This was not. This was cars per period, and I think I screwed up because when we really look at this revenue payable, I kind of went through that way too quickly, and the come on, where was the assumption about that? Note to modeler. Who? Note to modeler. Note to modeler. Just where was where in the heck was the? Here it is. This is where I got my 3. There's an ongoing discussion that if the car traffic per day, then the government pays a 3. So we really got to fix this and make this. This is what we're doing here is put cars per day. And over here we put, volumes. I'm changing it again. Capped. Okay, so let's do it in different. I put this minimum already. Let's just figure out what the capped volumes are, and do it one at a time. It was kind of stupid the way I did it. And we better multiply this. Remember, we can start remembering things by the operation period. Shift Control R. So that's our capped revenues. Now here we didn't do it. We didn't do it yet, and we can also use this flag. Okay, and I should have put my little Alt WFF over here. Okay, so let's do that one correctly. Okay, and then so if we're, and I'm the other thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to correct some of this other stuff. Let's put the scenario name up here, and this says revenue share pay, and we can even be a little bit like Kenny, why not? And make that one. I think we could make a little bit larger. Is that too large? Okay, we're so cool that we can see what scenario we're on. All right, and so we've got the volumes that are capped, and those are larger than the actual volumes, and the volumes at revenue share rate. Okay, and that's going to be cars, and that's going to be cars per period, and we can take whenever these are greater than that, then we've got some revenue sharing to do. And of course, it's negative, 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 and then it gets to be positive, positive, positive. And then we can just put a maximum of this or zero, and we do things a little more slowly and a little make more sense. And we have that. And then if we right now, so right now we have the volumes of that are capped. Now let's make this to be scenario number one. Of course, you should use a spinner box here. And right now we have revenues that are capped. And what happens if I multiply this by 0? Then just a minute. They're all going to be capped. And of course, I need to press F4, and that didn't work. Okay, so let's not do that one. Let's instead take that away, even though I just wasted time on it. And if we how about we'll put it here. So let's take this one and move it here, and just maybe we'll use an if statement this time. If it's true, so then we take the shared thing, and of course I've got to press the F4 here. I think I'm going to be out of it. Otherwise, we just take the original one. Okay, so or no, otherwise we just take 0. Excuse me. Okay, and then we could let's add one final thing and set volumes without a cap. So that took me a little bit longer, and I had to talk to this. The way I'm talking to you is exactly what I would do. Talk to myself. Maybe I would try not to speak out loud too much if I'm at a cafe or something like that. But then we take the total car volumes minus this one. So now I'm in the base case. Shift Control R. So now let's just make sure we didn't cap it. So and let's. I almost I want to put the thing there, because up here I'd almost want to put a drop down box, but we better not do that because these asses will complain. Whoops, not 110, 10. Okay, and so now we have a true, and actually for me, doing a little bit of experimentation, comme ça, that's kind of nice. And then this what we put car, they might have complained, toll revenue, truck, toll revenue, and now we've got our inflated toll rate. But let's also insert about 4 lines and put capped toll rate. And that is my final 3 that I seem to be obsessed about before. And I hope we have it down here in the revenues and expenses and capex, and we have it at the right place. And wouldn't you know that I didn't even put it in? Maybe that's why I was so screwed up. Okay, and let's put it next to the car rates. Okay, and how about we'll just Control D and put 3 and Shift Control R and go fast on those kind of little things, and then get this. So USD per car here. Okay, Shift Control Q maybe, and this time I think it's totally okay to take this one. Whoops. Did I kind oh no, we're starting everything here. Excuse me, I forgot. Don't forget that if you're worried about coloring, don't do it now. Do it at the end, okay? And we have our uh, uh, we're multiplying it by our inflation index, so it goes up. And then with this, I think it would have been much better to put volumes. Why can't I spell that without? Why does it always put an extra n? Volumes without cap, and we just did that. Cars per period. I don't know. I don't know what you think about my little waste of time thing here, but who knows? These people could get so obsessive and not pay attention to doing efficient, really good circular reference resolutions. So this is the revenues without the cap, and that gets the top rate, and then volumes. We can do this at okay, and all right, and let's get that one in. Volumes capped, and that was cars per period. Okay, I hope that's okay. And then if we go further, we see, there it is. And then we just multiply this times that plus. I don't think this is too complicated. You could put it in separate things, but all right. And if we better be consistent then with the trucks and put truck volumes, right? And then here, this is per truck. Oh my God, if I would have put that, they wouldn't have given me the job. Oh no. Somebody could be reviewing it in the HR department and say, oh, you don't know this. Okay. I don't know. I don't know about this. You tell me. Let's get the trucks per period. And that was such a kind of pain to do all of this. And it's just tedious, isn't it? So let's just multiply that over here so we can really see if we've made some mistakes or if we haven't. All right, and then we have our total revenues. So we've kind of fixed a little bit of all that. Okay, and then because of the change in the toll rates, I have an enormous I have an equity IRR that's a num, and we've got an enormous NPV. Now, if we're going to do a goal seek with, here's what we're going to do. We're going to show you that we're going to show you that the iteration button completely fails because we have this goal seek in here once we put the circular reference in. And so I'm going to select the shift control F3 and make a range name because we'll do this with a goal seek. And the way we'll do this is to adjust our headline price, which we put way up here, and I call this headline. If somebody says, that's illegal, Mazar said that's illegal. Okay, well, okay, whatever. Now let's just do the goal seek one time, and well, I guess I could use this for making the macro. Call it goal seek maybe, and do a data What if analysis? I think I've told you before, this is my very first macro, and it's still probably by far the most useful one. And I remember exactly where I was when I did my first macro. It was this shitty old couch I had. It was when I was living totally alone. What a great time that was. So there we are, and we obviously have to stop recording the macro and go to the developer tab and show our macros. And I wish there's probably a way to make it always go just to this sheet, especially if you have that. And what did I just do here? Did I just go down and up? Oh my gosh, you better get rid of all that crap. Okay, and I don't know why it always does this, and we're changing the NPV to 0 by what's this? Yeah, no, that's okay. By changing the headline. That's about my limit on remembering range names. Okay, so right now we have a much bigger headline price, much bigger here. And then I did some of this stuff really badly. I don't think I properly put in the fees. So before we get into the circular references, let's do just a little bit of cleanup on this. Now it's for me, it almost seems like something's wrong. That we could have a project IRR so close to the this is like what our I guess our interest rate was that was really that the interest rate really was that 3% per year? I better double check that. That's 3% per annum, 3% per annum. Where's our interest rate? 3% all-in cost of debt. It doesn't say whether it's per annum or not. But that is no, that's okay. It's 3% per annum. This is a touch bigger. It's about 4%, and with this difference between 3 and 4%, interest cost per semi-annual period is this. You raise 59% of the debt, and the equity cash flow can get up to 8%. There's something that seems a little off on this for me. It really does. That seems a little too dramatic. Let me see. We also, how long was the debt? Well, it doesn't matter. The debt was kind of 80%. I'm sorry to kind of stop here, but if I saw that, I said, it's only 15 years. Well, I'm going to leave it. I'm going to have to leave it right now. If somebody corrects me again, if I've done something wrong, I really want to know. Okay, but I know I know I've got a mistake. I know my mistake now. There it is. The taxes are negative here. Now, what do you think we should do with the we should really put a carry forward in. We could leave the negative taxes. And what did they say about the taxes? Let's just reread that. Corporate tax rate of 20, for simplicity, no limitation in terms of deductible interest. That's nothing. But they don't tell us if we're supposed to put a carry forward in or not. I suppose let's put a carry forward in. Why not? It's so simple. Okay. If we put a carry forward in, what I would do is put NOL balance, and we start with our opening balance, and then we add the tax, add the negative income carried forward. No, I think it's okay to do it here because the would I get a less the NOL used, and we get a closing balance, and then we get EBT after EBIT after NOL. Okay, and then the taxes on the NOL are just down here, and we'll just make it's so easy to do this. It's just the opening balance equals the prior. That's 93, right? Prior closing balance, and this is just a maximum equal maximum of the minus of this, or 0. And this is just the minimum of the opening balance, or the minimum, the maximum first of this, or 0. So we're only going to do it when it's positive, but then we have to put a minimum around that and put in the opening balance. So what a bunch of shitheads. Okay. Oh, we're so simplifying things because we're not assuming stuff about the deductibility of the interest. But they are making absolutely sure they're doing something what I'm not doing here. And so our EBL after the interest, well, if it's negative, we got to add back the amount we stick into the NOL, and then we take out the amount we lose. So then we have this, and then oops, did I do that? Excuse me. I'm gonna put that here, right? Okay, this is USD. Okay, and then we take our number and now multiply it by here, but that's not the mistake I made, I think. The mistake I made down here is when I said taxes less working capital changes. So did we add that? No, the working capital changes were negative. Is this plus the negative of the working capital changes? Nobody caught that one. Nobody caught that one, I hope. And where the working capital changes up here, they were positive, so I made that mistake. God, I make a lot of mistakes. Why would it? Maybe that's why nobody wants me and hires me, and they think, oh, he's too old for doing anything. I think that's happening, really. Okay, and this Euro, the guys I work with, oh, God. Okay, they didn't let me speak French. I swear to God, in my class, I could say everything in French. So, oh, no. Of course I can. And so we subtract that again. Whoops, oh no, I'm going to make it a minus. Foolish consistencies, the hobgoblin of a petty mind. But here, if I don't make this minus, they'll get all furious. And this is going to be the big deal, by the way, because this has to be adjusted for the interest. No, what am I doing? It's just the sum of this. Okay, whew. All right, and so let's just fix that one up. And when we fix that one up, we've got a little thing. And for now, let's just put our little goal seek next to that one, okay? Okay. All right. Now, So let's click on this one, and now I hope this amount went down a little bit. Now we're going to start adding the circular references in, and I strongly suggest. Well, this really is, when we said financing, this is really the debt sizing. Okay, and then after we figured out the debt sizing up here, this was a little bit of a mess, wasn't it? Why don't we make it look a little bit better here and put uses and sources of funds. Please don't start with a paintbrush. What a useless tool that paintbrush is. Uses of funds. Now up here we're going to put the capital expenditures. If and then we'll put the debt fees. How about the total? Okay, and our capital expenditures. Why don't we just go and get those from here? If we ever did, I've got another horrible test that I already made a video on, but I wasn't allowed to kind of show it. What a waste. Where did we put our headline, our big headline number? Now, come on. That was that was right up at the top. Okay, I couldn't remember it. Revenues. Okay, it was that one. And then the debt fees. Well, let's go down and just put in the debt fees. And all this crap is this use Alt MD. And is this Alt MD? Okay, so this isn't really used. I'm going to get rid of these two because we need to do this in a much more elegant and better way, because we really need to put the cap on the debt. And down here, let's put the debt fees. Now, we won't get a circular reference on the debt fees if we just use sculpting, but if we have this problem of this maximum debt to capital, which we don't seem to really have, we're gonna run into these debt fees, and we can just take the total amount we issue of the debt multiplied by the fees multiplied by the by the acquisition period. I was so impressed that people actually tried to do this kind of stuff themselves. I can't imagine. Maybe it's kind of a little bit challenging to see if you can kind of do things, and if we want to test the closing balance, well, we want to make sure that in this year 30. So where's our period? I hope we have a period up here somewhere. 15 years. I'm going to just multiply by 2. Don't yell at me. And then we can put lookup, and we can look up this, compare that to our period. Whoops. Timing period up here, and then compare that to the closing balance. This has to be +1, I think. And then we got a nothing. Okay? And we can put equal round of this, comma 0 equals 0. And we have a nice little test for our closing balance. Okay? So our debt fees, let's put them over here and let's go down. Now, when we have to go down like that, I say of course, I shouldn't say of course, but that's when you have this horrible feeling that there could be a circular reference for this. It turns out that if we use sculpting, there's not a problem like this. Okay, and then if we just want to make a little summary of our sources and uses, Why don't we just stick it over here, because we might use this later. Alt equal, okay, and then let's put the sources, funds, and let's put the debt. Now the debt, let's just fix the debt. So we did the debt sizing up here, and this is the sum product. Okay, I need to extend this, and don't be chintzy with the length of the titles, and don't try to be too sophisticated like you're some fancy finance person who all they can do is talk fast, use big words, and if people understand your big words, then you make new words up. Really good at making new words up. Mini perm. Let's look at the haircuts. And then we put, let's put maximum debt to capital. Okay, and we that's of course just a input. I say of course. I should never say of course, but I keep doing that because I'm nervous and not explaining them. And then we can put debt to capital from whatever. No, maximum debts with debt to capital. All right. And that's USD. Now, what's going to happen, because I kind of cheated, I should admit that, because whatever. This one, you multiply this, and you have to go downstairs. I think I just said that. So we take 80% of the total plus the fees, Shift Control W, and then you put debt applied. Now there is a way, if it was only debt to capital, you could use some very, very simple algebra and just say it's kind of like 1 divided by 1 minus the fees is the actual fee rate, and you can solve that algebraically. But if we have this maximum minimum, it gets a little more complicated, so we're going to have to leave in that circular reference. So these asinine people, if they really wanted you, I assume they want to see if you can work with a circular reference. So we take the bank always takes the minimum. They would take the lesser of this or this. Okay, and so right now our total debt is this. Okay, and maybe since it's so important, we should shift control G. How's that? And then equity is the remainder. Okay, and right now, okay, and then let's put total, of course. Okay, and this really is the way I think I would do this. I would begin with, and then people, if you can call this your debt account. Okay, now right now it's got this. This for me is absolutely fascinating issue. Right now it's got the wrong thing. Right now we're going to take it from here. We get the circular reference. Okay, and it's kind of a natural circular reference. Let me just what should I do? Let's just let's just delete the fees for just a second. Okay, just to illustrate what really happens. Now, if you what I'm about to do is going to drive me crazy, and it's a modelers, and I bet you these jerks who made this model would think like this. I'm almost sure. Now let's what are we on? Let's put this to the base case. Okay, in the base case, let's see what kind of debt to capital we have. it's not a major thing to take this divided by this. Okay, we have 61%. And it adds up, I hope, to 100%. If we, to get the debt to capital to be put into place, we'd have to increase this to something like 15%. If we increase that to 15%, wait, we're not quite finished. And then we're gonna pay a lot lower for our thing, and I still didn't do it. We might have to increase this to 20 years. And those are the things that's the interesting thing. I wish they should ask those kind of questions so you really understand what's going on. That's the case when the debt to capital starts to apply. Now we have a maximum debt to capital, and now we have this negative balance because this sculpting that we did was based on this. Now, what happens is we've paid too much debt, and the worst thing, almost the worst thing, you can get into a very interesting philosophical argument about this, really interesting, is you can use a minimum function. If you use a minimum function, it's an idiotic thing to do unless you assume refinancing. You're paying the debt off much earlier than the 15 years. So what you really would want to do in that case is see when it gets paid off and then put a refinancing in. But the alternative thing to do is either increase the DSCR to have it pay off smoothly, because right now if you could increase the DSCR in these periods, you could make the dividend occur earlier. So those are the interesting questions. Of course, they didn't say anything about that. And if you could discuss those in an interview, and we'll show you that in part 3, because part 3 is the only part of this that's at all really kind of that shows that you're above these people. You're really above these people who just are kind of just they're obviously bureaucratic maulers. It's so clear to me that, oh, let's see if you can do a copy and paste. Oops, I dropped something in my. I found a hotel room in this cool place in Malaysia, $15, and it's got a window. Oh, it's got a window. It's not got a chair with a back, but there are a lot of people don't use the chairs with the backs here. Okay, chairs with the backs. I hate picnic tables. Should have never been invented. Don't you think that? Okay, let's put this back to 15, and then let's put this back to 8. Now, let's work through our circular references. Okay, and the circular references. Yeah, we've got to do those first, okay? And the first circular reference is going to be this business we just looked at here. These taxes paid are not this. What's going on here? Just a minute. Did we have to rerun the... Oh, we got to rerun the goal seek. Okay. Okay, this is where that's the cash flow waterfall. This is the debt sizing. What happened here? Do we pay taxes immediately in this case? What's going on? No. Taxes on EBIT. Yes. No. What's going on here? Oh, yeah. We have positive EBIT. I hope that's okay. And then, but if we have positive EBIT, and where is our interest? Our interest is way down here. We got a lot more interest. Now we're going to have negative taxes up here. So let's do that again. Let's show how cool we are. And just above the CFADS, insert about 3 or 4 lines, and start with, how about we'll put taxes, taxes uh, 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 with interest. I would be really nervous about this. EBITDA, and I what I realistically would do is end it at this stage, and then we put less the interest, and then they said that they had all this fancy stuff you should do. Ooh, what percent is deductible and all that kind of stuff. What percent of EBITDA, and then less the depreciation. We'll put the depreciation up here again, and again, if we could write up that asset because of the taxes, and we'd have to put a little thing that you idiots, you didn't tell us what kind of taxes or what kind of tax treatment it's going to have, whether it's going to be a write-up or not. You wouldn't write up the taxes if you had a share exchange, basically, which I suppose you could have. And then let's put in the depreciation and just leave that. Or did I? No, I did write it up. Excuse me, I did write it up. You know, let's make this a little bit more conservative, because if we where's our tax basis? I'm going to use our capex for a tax basis, so that's another mistake I made, at least in talking to you. And why would they have even given you the capex if they didn't want you to maybe use that? Okay, so in this case, I'm just going to take the initial capex, and hopefully everything is okay. Now, what happens is that means we have to pay more for the asset. Okay, and that means our project IRR up here. Uh-oh, what happened to the project IRR? Our project IRR now has changed a lot. And what happened to this one? Oh, shoot. XIRR, CB to CB. Why did it not like that? Okay, maybe is it one of these things where you have to put 0.07 or something like that? No? Shoot. Those taxes. Of course I took the wrong number for the taxes. Stupid. Okay, so just showing you how to correct mistakes. Maybe I am. Maybe I really am. When things look funny, don't assume that there's some conceptual thing that's wrong. I used to always be such an ass. Oh, you don't understand the relationship between the blah, 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 and the blah, blah, blah. That's why you got these crazy results. 9 times out of 10, you made an error. Okay? You probably know this if you've done any, if you're like me and make all these errors. So we're going to take this cost, and then, oh no, I can't do this. Do I have to do the amortization of fees? Oh shit. Oh God, let's do that. These assholes. How could they put all of this in this thing? And I guess shit. Let's do it here. Let's do it here. I'm not. I've stopped putting USDs in all this stuff, and the fees we have down here. So we're gonna have to depreciate the fees. Where in the heck are they? Oh, I'm so pissed off about that. Where are the debt fees? Oh, we let's take them from here. They're blank right now because we're gonna do all and let's go get the depreciation rate. Let's use the same depreciation rate. And I forgot, how did we do it? We put a depreciation period, so we could just take the the fixed this one multiplied by the fixed of this one multiplied by that same depreciation flag that we put in there. Okay, and that's like telling these people, screw you. Screw you, you idiot jerks who made this test. You didn't even talk about the amortization of fees, did you? Okay. Here's our EBITDA. Oh, do we put? I'm going to leave it a positive. Okay, here's our fees and here's our interest, and so then we have our EBIT, not EBITDA, EBT. Excuse me. Okay, and that's this minus this. Okay, put it in as a negative, right? I should have done that. I'm just have this bad habit of not doing it. And then we got to go through this whole shit again, which is NO. Why don't we just take a copy of our titles? Okay. Shit. Okay. Opening balance equal closing balance equal maximum of the minus of our. Why isn't this minus now? The minus of that or 0 equal maximum of this or 0. Maybe there wasn't a NOL, and the minimum of the starting point of it. Oh my God. Why did we just have one before? What happened? Did I do something? Did I really screw up something? Plus this minus this. It almost takes the same amount of time just to do this. Adjusted NOL. And then we have adjusted EBT. EBT, taxes paid. Why was it? This and this and this and this is. We didn't have a NOL now, and we did before. Just a minute. What happened to everything? Oh, it's because the depreciation is so different. The depreciation is so much less. So that's kind of cool. We could leave it in. So you decide. Yeah, you know how you, because we had a much higher price for our whatever it is, our toll road. Add back the NOL, take away the use of the NOL. Over here, put over here put a tax rate in. Okay, and we have that, and it might still be negative because after we fix and reduce or increase our CFADS, we'll have more debt, more interest, and of course this is all wrong. This is the maximum of that or 0. Okay. Come on. Okay, now we're okay. And now in our CFADS, we put in our taxes paid. Here. And we press Shift Control R. And we got a classic circular reference. And I guess this, just to be foolish, consistency is a hobgoblin of a petty mind. We remember I put a negative here, okay? And right now the whole thing doesn't work. And let's go down here and put our debt fees back. And then we're going to be so impressive because we can solve all these circular references in a few seconds, really. and why? Oh, I guess that's just the. We can just take the sum of that column. If they might criticize us if we don't. I feel like these people who made the test are auditors. So now we have a couple of circular references. And at first we go, oh shit, the dreaded blue lines. Oh no, the dreaded blue lines. Oh no. Okay, don't get too worried about this. Now you could be like some of the fancy people. My suggestion is to take the CFADS line, which we just lost the blue lines. First, no. First, we're going to do the thing that doesn't work. We're going to go to options, and right now I'm going to go to formulas, and I'm going to enable options, and I'm going to press OK. Everything works. It works just fine. And then, but we have an NPV difference. I've got to save this as continue saving as a macro free. No, I don't want to do that. I want to save it as a macro enabled workbook. Okay. And we'll put save. Come on. Okay. And now you can see from this iteration, watch what happens when I do the goal seek. Watch the goal seek work. I'll be so furious. It's going to go crazy. Look at this. It just can't do it. And that's the key of them all, really, to do the goal seek. Well, I almost don't know what to do right now. It messed everything up so badly. What I'm going to try to do is just get rid of this stupid thing. So people who say, I heard one very nice lady say, oh, you know what I do? I deref the spreadsheet. I deref them for my circular. What the heck does that mean? When you get references because you copy things, they're like all these things that could go wrong. Why did the upload fail? This internet seems to be a little slow. Whatever. Save a copy, okay? This is. Okay, this is going to be part 2. The interesting one is going to be part 3. Okay, and I'm going to try to make part 3. I'm really suffering from. I have to admit that I have these miles, and in some places, like where I live, how many miles do you have? Are you a million miler? Oh, like that should be counting how much CO2 I've put in the atmosphere. I'm just such this horrible person. Okay, that's what, if you're a frequent flyer, they should be counting how much CO2 have you. I've got to put an extra thing on here, right? What is that? What was it? Is this the wrong way? What was the capex again? Come on. Capex, 100 million. Good. Okay, so we're just starting. We have a NPV issue. And now, to do this, if we do this with a copy and paste, you could do this in a separate page, and that would be a pain. Let's fix this one. Now, we've lost the blue lines. I hate it when Excel does this. I would call this CFADS fixed. And then we put CFADS computed. And we just go over here. Of course, we put the units here. And then this is CFADS fixed. We're going to need a range name. CFADS computed. Okay, and for this one, we're going to use the same formula. Let's sum this stuff up here. Okay. Okay, that didn't cause a problem. And then just temporarily, we'll copy this and paste special as values to this. That's basically, and that gets rid of that one. Now, of course, we're still got this silly problem with the debt fees. Maybe I'm gonna put up here because this is like for there's classic circular reference for the sculpting with interest with taxes, and classic for the, so you fix that with CFADS, and then there's classic for the uses of funds, and I fix that with the total. So up here we'll put fixed and computed, and how about fixed fees, computed fees. Who cares if it went a little too long? And the computed fees are this one, and we'll make this equal to the fixed fees. Everything went away. And then we'll copy, paste, copy and paste as value. Now, of course, nothing is right now because we had all of this problem. And right now, what happened to the debt? It all went away or something because we had no. See, so now instead of doing this, select these two, Shift Control right arrow, Shift Control F3, okay, and do that one, and then make a little button here. Let's make it right here for the copy paste. Okay, and let's call it copy paste, just to show these people they're not doing anything fancy. And then let's make it new. And then what you do is we're going to have, and Hedy showed me this one, we can make fixed CFADS, and it doesn't matter if you have majuscule, high capital letter, fixed. I'm just pretending I can only speak French. That's kind of stupid. Equal, and use value equal CFADS underscore fixed. What was the other one? Computed. I hope I spelled it right. Dot value. Okay, we haven't done our loop yet, and we're going to do the same thing with. I hope we named it. How did I put computed fees just to be inconsistent again, just to show you that life is good when you fixed fees, computed fees. Up here, I did it the opposite way. Okay, well, let's do this. Let's do fees fixed and fees computed. Now, normally we would have IDC and so this of course makes this fixed and this computed, and up here if you select the whole line it says fixed for the whole line and then computed for the whole line. So I did it the same way, fees and we press edit, and instead of CFADS we put fees, and we put fees again. Okay, and then okay, and then did I attach this to that macro? I think I did. Yes. Okay, so let's just run the macro, and we got everything back, and this is kind of upsetting. Is well we copied it. Just a minute. and there's no difference between the fixed and the other, and the fixed fees and the computed fees are slightly different. Why didn't that why did the CFADS, the taxes paid, just a minute, what happened to the taxes paid? Why did they all go to zero? Oh, okay. Did I do my adjusted EBT? This? What did I do wrong? Okay, this plus this minus this. Excuse me for making that mistake. Okay, and now when we do this, the first time we do it, it's not going to give us exactly the same result. If I'm making a lot of mistakes, remember I'm really old and I haven't been drinking. I've not been drinking. I don't drink as much anymore when I make an Excel because I'm really, really bad. And I'm not drinking much anymore anyway. Okay? I've seen what it can do to snoring. Let's take the difference between these two. It doesn't matter whether it's positive or negative. And shift control V for Victor, get the sum. And let's get the difference of the fees. Where can we put the difference of the fees? Where? Stupid little fees. How about here? Well, let's just cheat and take this minus this, okay? Okay, shift control Q if you want. No, W maybe. And then let's, somewhere for a circular reference, maybe let's just put a total difference for CP, for copy paste. How's that? And let's take this difference plus this difference. And how about, I'll call that difference. And we'll select these two, shift control F3. Go back to our macro, right click, go to assign macro and press edit. And we put do while. There are so many different ways to do this, and then put difference and put dot value, and then you put not equal to 0, and then you go down here and you put loop, and if you're fancy you do these things, and that's how most people seem to do this, and you've proven, oh, I'm so cool, I can do that. Okay, and then then let's okay, after we do that, I'm gonna have to go to the bathroom in a minute. Okay, it went, and it does it very quickly. So my wonderful theory about that, but I've seen these things where I swear it goes really, really slowly. But now let's look what happened. We have a goal seek, so now we can do the goal seek again. But after we do the goal seek, we got the differences. So then we'd have to run our circular, our copy paste, and we should be really fancy. Oh, super optimize. Okay, so we could run our copy paste again. Very good. That goes down to 0. But the goal seek is still there. So when we run our goal seek, what we're going to have to do is really kind of change that and just copy the do while. Just copy this, put this up here somewhere, move our goal seek up to the into this one, and then we're done. And now we do the goal seek. Whoops. Uh-oh. Did I just make a mistake? Okay. Oh, maybe, you know what we have to do is do a goal seek, control Z. We have to do a goal seek right at the very beginning to make it not work. Let's save this. Okay. Uh-oh. Did I just lose it? Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh shit. Well, this happens when you have a thing too, don't you? I'm glad we saved it. So now the goal seek worked, and the check of the closing balance worked, the difference worked. You would put all these, if you had all this time, you would put all of these into and what's going on with the taxes paid? Why are the taxes paid negative? Oh, they are negative because it's positive taxes paid, of course. Okay. And okay, we're just about finished. One more little thing to do. We're going to sell our project. We've got a sale date right up here to put IR with project sale. The first thing you do is you get the equity cash flow. Let's get those first. Okay, and our equity cash flow is just right up here. It's that last one we just did. Okay, and then after we put in the equity cash flow, let's put the NPV of cash flow. I'm going to put here T plus 1 at buyer IRR. If they would have given you a day to do this, maybe. Okay, they always give you not enough time. Why do they? That's kind of stupid. Putting these little time tests. You're going to violate the Napoleon principle when he said to his dresser, the man who dressed him, "Dress me slowly. I'm in a hurry," because you're going to make more mistakes when you do this. And I don't think we even put the buyer IRR here. Okay. Now, I really hope the whole reason I'm doing this, well, I don't know, because the person who asked me about it was one of the nicest people who's ever sent me. There are a whole lot of wonderful people, really. You guys who actually try this, you're really amazing. Or who could watch a video and listen to me moan. You really are. We take. I guess we can do this with XNPV, or we could raise it to the second power. Let's do it better. Let's put NPV. Let's put the semi-annual rate. We put 1 plus this rate raised to the 0.5 power minus 1. Do that instead. It's so much better to do that NPV, and you don't take this one, you take this one. That's how much what the value will be if you sell it right at the end, and of course use the discount rate, and then go up and go one further like that. And then if you do it like that, you don't have to do this F4 business. So that's our value. And if there was one graph that would be kind of interesting for me, I'd just press F11 like that. It's kind of bizarre. The value goes up while you're paying off the debt, and then it goes down as you get old like me. Okay? Maybe that's life. You waste all your life trying to pay off your debts, and then you finally pay off your debts, and you're old, and then your value just goes down because you don't have anything left. Kind of depressing, isn't it? And then we'll put our sale date. Okay, and let's just I'm just gonna get that from up here. Okay, and then I'm gonna the sale I'm gonna put a holding period And for the holding period, I'm going to get our sale date. So we could be really flexible. I hope we put it in I remember. We put it in there. And we just go up here and take this. Notice this is the ending period. So take this one less than or equal to this one. So we get cash flows, we pay cash flows, Shift Control B, Shift Control R. We get cash flows, and then we get cash flows, and then we hold it for a while. We have to pay all the negative cash flows, and then we get to realize the buyer is going to look at the future cash flows after that. So we're going to take the equity cash flow times the holding period plus the sale cash flow times the sale date, and we put a cash flow over holding period. Okay, and let's take this sale date, multiply that by the NPV, plus this times the equity cash flow. Okay, and then what's going to happen is because the discount rate is lower than our 8%, the IRR over the holding period. I'm really going to go to the bathroom. I got to finish this up. Is going to be the XIRR, and I'm not going to. I think right now, for purposes of this one, I'm not going to do a whole bunch of present, graphs and all that stuff. I would do that graph of course and so we actually earn 9.77. Now, if we want to earn 8, we could bid even higher. So you could put the target IRR in again. Oh God, I shouldn't have. I drank that stupid banana yogurt I just drank. It's hurting like hell. Okay, and then we put the NPV. And then I've got to pause. I've got to pause just for a minute because we're close to being done. Okay, I had to take a break just now. Equal X NPV of 8% of our, and obviously the NPV will be positive. And of course, I didn't put the dates in. Okay. I think I'm saying, this is so good to get finished with this horrible nightmare. Okay, Shift Control W, and then let's put NPV sale. So if we're going to make this assumption, maybe legitimately, this is a fascinating question. If the risk goes down, if this is a new project and it's kind of constructed already, and we're so confident in the traffic, which is the big issue. Of course, they didn't do a sensitivity on the traffic. What a bunch of jerks. What? They did not do a sensitivity on the only thing that basically matters. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Oh, God. Didn't even think about that. You should, when you write it up, you'd say, "You idiots who are trying to hire me, Mr. Cantor Fitzgerald." No, Fitzgerald Kennedy. You idiots! Why didn't you do the only thing that really matters? And then we copy this goal seek. Okay, and instead of even doing the goal seek manually, we just go to assign macro edit and let's make this goal seek 1 or something. Copy it all the way down. Okay, and not be afraid to, and this is NPV sale, I guess. What was that? Was that one word? I can't remember. No, it had an underscore in it. Okay, so if we look at this, it put a little underscore in there for us. this is why finance is just so screwed up, I think. People don't think. People just, you know, oh, let's look at the IRR in our model and not really think about it enough. Okay, not really think. It is interesting to think about risk going down. And that I have to acknowledge is an interesting thing. And of course, why did that not work? Because I didn't assign it to the other macro. Okay. And we put this one down. And then I've got an error. What happened there? Set MPV to goal 0. What did I do wrong? Changing headline. Let's just make sure that. Okay. Maybe I. What? I don't see. That's a bizarre one. Okay, I'm gonna do something stupid. Einstein didn't really say that, but it's the epitome of idiocy, trying the same thing and thinking it'll work. Okay, so comments after the end. Oh, this we have an end sub here. Oh, I see. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, he was right, of course. He probably didn't say that, by the way. And then we have another error. I didn't put the end sub up there. Oh my gosh. I'm blaming that. Don't forget, I just had an 11-hour flight from Paris to Kuala Lumpur. I just destroyed the environment with all the emissions I made. And now that's how much our headline is. Now, wouldn't it be cool to be able to put a scenario here, and we'll put whatever scenario we're using. I'm going to obviously in the next video make this a spinner button. Why not? I mean, that's just so idiotic not to do that. And then, wouldn't it be kind of cool to say, okay, here's the headline, price without sale, and here's the headline, price with sale. And then, let's just at least do one graph. The one graph that we really should always do every time. I forgot what these assholes wanted you to do, but please, when you make a graph of CFADS, first let's put the dates here. Let's start the dates here. If it's the operation period, let's put the closing date. Otherwise, let's put NA and open it and close a bracket. Shift Control R, Shift Control 3, and then let's put the CFADS over here. I wonder if some people will say, "Oh, I don't need to look at your video. I'm so good because whatever." I'll put the computed one. Okay, and what that means, we're going to have to put our circular reference buttons on our goal seek with sale or something, all in our summary sheet. But I'm not going to do that. I think, well, we need to do that with you can make a goal seek. You can make a macro that does a goal seek. Why can't I edit this? Screw it. I'm not going to. And then let's put debt service. Because then we can really see what's going on. Now you can also put that one of the. Ooh, excuse me. I'm sorry about that. Okay, I'm a little bit off today here. Where's our debt service? Where's our debt size? And Okay, taxes here. Let's see, debt service over the repayment period. Here we go. Okay, and I hope I didn't screw anything up. It's totally possible I should this. So let me just say it like this: alternate F1. Let's get a graph. Uh, uh, I made errors on purpose in this file, a lot of errors, so that you can find them and you can give me a comment, which nobody would ever give me a comment. No, I don't want a new sheet. I want it in the summary page. Okay. Where did it go? Oh, shoot. Did it go way down here or something? Oh, why does it? Okay. Control X. Okay, let's get it up here somewhere. And then we can put the headline price here. We could, I guess, to really do this right, we'd have we'd have to put a little bit of a macro, and why don't we put up here, something like that, IR with sale, IR without sale, and that's our last IRR we did, which is the only thing we really care about in our whole life, because IRR, if you know, is a biased statistic. It's not a good statistic. If you really talk about people, it's not a good statistic at all, because it undervalues long-term assets and overvalues short-term assets. And that's what I'm putting in my book that nobody will care about, but whatever. Did I do that right? No, I didn't. Just a minute. That can't be right. Here's the IRR without this. Okay. So we can, and then I guess we can put our, macro here. And then this is kind of an introduction to our next phase of the project, which will be really fun. And that's the whole reason I did this. Now, if you look at this, then the other thing you should tell these idiots is that stop worrying about this bureaucratic crap and decide what you're going to do to refinance this project at the end. Now, of course, they made, if interest rates change and go up, you're going to have some problems, and it's not going to be so good. But how about let's just do it over here, and let's go over here and see how much debt we have. We have debt, and why don't we just take it, and you can put your sources and uses here. We don't have that much debt in this project. We didn't go to the end of the life. What happens here? Oh, that's when the tax depreciation runs out. Okay, and what we want to do is change our base case. Now, if you change right now, when you change the case, because the way we've done the debt size, so okay, I can't not do this. Okay, if we change this case, and it takes about as long to talk about changing this case as to make this silly little thing, which again, oh, this is so sad. I really can't stand what's happening in Russia. I really hate it so bad. I feel so bad for the people in Ukraine. I shouldn't say that. Hope nobody from Gazprom Bank is watching this, because somebody from Gazprom Bank, Tatiana, told me that you should go from one page to the other page when you do this. Okay, and so now if we change this case, okay, if we change this case to number 2, more inflation, that helps us. Just a second. Why didn't the IRR with the sale change? Just a minute. I took the wrong one. IRR over the holding period didn't change. Well, okay. Just a minute. Okay. Do I? Well, the first thing I better look at is see if I have the. Let's okay. Let's call this. Oh, I really wanted to do this. I wanted to be finished with this. Okay, I would get these IRRs before we look at anything else. And I guess I couldn't, sometimes when I used to teach, I couldn't get this point across enough. That's the first thing to understand what's going on, that's the first thing you do. And so let's find this. I might have. Maybe I did that spinner box wrong. Maybe I didn't do what Tatiana told me to do. Okay, just a minute. Are we really on case 5? Yes, we are. And on case 5, do we really have a difference in a variable O&M? Yes, we do. And is our variable O&M over here in this thing? Yes, it is. And is it affecting this? Yes, it is. So if I change it to the plus variable O&M, no, go minus variable O&M. Yes, that changed, and that changed. And y, and the DSCR changed. But every time it's changing, it's recomputing the debt. Why? Let me just make sure IORR over the holding period. Why did... I'm not redoing the goal sake. The NPV. Okay, I've got to pause it. I can't let this go. Of course, I'm not rerunning the copy paste every time I'm changing things. I've just destroyed the model with this copy and paste. Of course, that's why it doesn't work. So every time, that's why the equity IRR isn't changing. Okay, I'm sorry, I was too stupid to see that. So if we change this, we've got to put that in. So if we have a less variable O&M, we have to run it every single time. And whoops. Well, maybe. Oh, this was the interest rate. This, I don't know. Maybe did I? Oh, I didn't change the interest rate in the input C. Remember, we forgot. I forgot to do that. Okay, so let's go down here and go to this interest rate, and this was plus the interest rate, so 3.25. And this was minus the interest rate, 2.75. With hindsight, that's a very small change. So let's run our copy paste. Oh shoot. Well, oh no, that's and even that I gotta run the copy paste plus the life. Okay, so we can run all this, but every time we're running it, we are we're changing the debt size. And what you really want to do is put up here, I'm going to call this a risk scenario. And then I'm going to match that with a debt size scenario. And so we can use whatever we're doing. Yeah, we better kind of move it over and all that stuff. And we better put these horrible, shitty things over here. Okay, and now we're going to use this case. Okay, so up here I'm going to make another spinner box, and maybe we always want to do the base case with our headline number. We want to be able to say, okay, we paid the price, we financed the debt, and now after we've done the financing, what's our risk analysis with the fixed financing? So I want to use one a scenario for the financing and another for the debt, and I don't want to press this copy and paste every stupid time, because if it's a real model it's a little bit bigger, and then you're going to do this, it's going to be a real pain. And that's what we're doing in part 3, and that's the whole reason I made this video, so we could get to part 3. And that, but that's enough for our case with the Fitzgerald, the JFK, John